In this video, I will show you how to enable a feature called FortiCloud and what it can provide. So it is very quick to set up and it is great for how it can be used on your firewall. So FortiCloud can be enabled right here on the dashboard under license information, and there you will see an option called FortiCloud. So FortiCloud is a cloud-based web reporting service that is offered by Fortinet for users that have an active FortiCare account. And this allows you to view security events and top applications to even top talkers from an internet-based website that is hosted by FortiCloud, or Fortinet in this case. Now this means that we do not need to be connected to our firewall to view security events or other statistics. And the reporting tables are also very user-friendly, which is a very big plus. So we do have an active account, which you'll see listed right here. So that means that we are able to enable FortiCloud. So let's go ahead and activate the FortiCloud feature on our firewall by clicking on here. It says activate. And this will require us to create a new account, which is required to log into the FortiCloud portal and for sending log events. Therefore, make sure that you have created your account and accept the terms of agreement on this particular page. When you are finished creating your account, you will receive a confirmation email, something like this, to validate the registration. Now this will be sent to the email address that you use to set up your account for FortiCloud. We will go ahead and click on this link right here to activate our account. And doing that will redirect us to a page like this, explaining what this feature provides and where we can even log in to the FortiCloud portal, but we will do that later. Let's now go ahead and activate this feature by logging in using our created account. Okay, and we'll say okay and wait for this to complete the activation. Okay, so now the feature is activated and we have the option on this page to upgrade our storage space for FortiCloud. Now the default storage space is 1 GB and it is free. Now, if you want to upgrade to a higher disk space, up to 200 GB of disk space, plus have access to additional reporting capabilities, that will be an additional cost per month. And if you have purchased that, then you will input those details here. Now, we're not going to upgrade, so we're going to go ahead and close this out. And there you will see on the dashboard the details for FortiCloud in terms of our account, the type, which is a free account, and the total storage space that is used so far, up to 1 GB. Next, you need to make sure that logging is enabled and pointing to FortiCloud. To make sure that logging is being sent to FortiCloud, you need to go to the log settings page, which is here under log configuration. All right, and here you'll see that by default, logs are enabled to be sent to FortiCloud for the account name that we have set up. So let's confirm connectivity to FortiCloud from our firewall. Okay, and we see that it is working. Now on this firewall, we're using virtual domains. So this may look different for you if you do not have virtual domains enabled on your firewall. So for example, let's go to virtual domains and we have two virtual domains. We have root and route hub. Let's go under root and go to the log settings here, which is here under log config, and once again, log settings. Okay, and once again, this will show a similar page where all logging events is enabled and being sent to FortiCloud as expected. So if this isn't enabled, make sure that you enable this before we continue. You also want to make sure that all these logging events options are also all checked. And also you want to make sure that these are also checked as well for resolve hostname and other resolve unknown applications as well. The next thing to do is to go to the policies that you want to enable for logs that can be sent up to the cloud to be used in the reporting. So for example, let's say that we want logs sent to the cloud for all activity from our internal network out to the internet. So to do that, let's go to our policy page. So let's go to virtual domains. And under root, let's go ahead and go to policy objects, policy IPv4. Okay, and let's edit the policy that we want for that scenario, which is right here, internal out to the internet. Let's edit this policy. Okay, and there at the very bottom, you will see the logging options. So make sure that log allowed traffic is enabled. And then we can check to only send security event logs or all session logs up to the FortiCloud that can be used with the reports that we will see. Now it's recommended to select security events because if you're selecting all sessions, it will quickly use more of your disk space on the cloud. However, if you are enabling all sessions, it will provide a lot of great details with the number of top talker and applications. So just keep those considerations in mind. But regardless, it's important that logs are enabled for the security policies that you do want to view from the FortiCloud portal. Now let's launch the FortiCloud portal and see what this looks like. So to do that, right here on the dashboard under FortiCloud, let's click on Launch Portal. Okay, and this will redirect us to the FortiCloud.com website or the portal, and it will show our firewall that we activated. So here you will see our serial number, the FortiOS version that is installed, and how much storage space is used. To view the different logs and the reports for this firewall, we can go ahead and click on this box here reflecting our firewall. That will lead us to the main dashboard page that will show things like top websites, top protocols that are used, application, to even top traffic based on region, which can be very handy. Now it's important to know that reports for top web and top applications will only show details if it is configured and applied to a policy. If not, it will not show anything. You'll also notice that since our firewall is enabled for virtual domains, we can view through the different logs and events for each of our firewall domains easily from this page if, once again, logging is enabled to be pushed up to the actual FortiCloud portal. Under the FortiView tab, okay, and here we can view traffic and security events based on things like the application, the source or destination, application control, web filter, to even system activity, to even viewing details of any VPN tunnels that are configured. So all that can be viewed here under FortiView. When you go to the drill down tab right here, we can view things like top network activity, web activity, to UTM activity on our firewall, depending on, once again, what we have enabled on our firewall. And under the reports tab, let's go there. This is where you can schedule summarized reports to be sent to us by email. Now this type of report is enabled by default and it will be sent every day. And I'll show you later an example of a summary report once we generate a lot of traffic. Now you can also change the schedule period when the summary reports will be sent. It can be sent every week or maybe once a month. It all depends on your preferences. You can also specify other email addresses for other people who should also receive this report. When there is enough traffic and logs recorded, the FortiCloud portal will finally display some interesting data that we can view. Starting on the dashboard, we can view the amount of traffic coming in and out of the WAN-facing interface on our firewall, shown right here in this widget. Right below that, you will see top traffic by protocol, where HTTP is the top application protocol that is used, including the top traffic by region, showing where we are accessing networks inbound and outbound from our firewall. So these are the main widgets displayed here, but we can always remove any widget that we don't need or want and add something more specific that's important to us. Things like top viruses, top attacks, or maybe top DLP sources, among others, like top spam perhaps. So it all depends on how you want to customize your dashboard for what is important to view. Now let's go to the FortiView tab. Okay, and here we can view the top talkers based on the top destination IP that our users are accessing. Now the top destination here is an IP address. Okay, it has a lot of bandwidth usage, but this IP address belongs to Netflix. Now, this is obviously not a business related application and it can actually be blocked from our firewall. Now, let's go ahead and view the top sources from our network. So let's select source. Okay, and there you see that the top source is 10.67.78.36, which has also accumulated a lot of bandwidth. So this is likely the individual who is viewing Netflix from their device, probably their mobile device, like their iPad or something. We can even view the details of everything that this source has been doing by clicking on this entry right here. Let's do that. Okay, and let's go ahead and go to the destination tab. And this will show basically all the destinations that this user has accessed, which are likely websites. So this could be also very helpful. And of course, you will see that the top talker, the top destination, is the same address that we saw, which belongs to Netflix. So we know for sure that it is this user that is accessing Netflix specifically and using up a lot of bandwidth. Also here you can go to logs and very quickly, wait for this to load up. We can view details of the services that they use, including any threats that has been detected. Let's go ahead and go to the next tab, which is drill down. Okay, and this default page shows things like top traffic from any IP, and you'll see that once again, Netflix, that address is the top traffic address that we saw before. We can view other activity, things like by clicking this option right up here, like top traffic that we can view by service, for example. Let's go ahead and select that. Okay, and this will show that the top traffic services that has been used on the top here is HTTP in terms of inbound traffic, which is marked here in green. So this is all inbound traffic. And Netflix streaming services, it reside over HTTP, and that will appear as inbound traffic. So once again, this is how we can view those details very clearly. And of course, we can view other top services coming in and out of our firewall. So very, very helpful. As I mentioned earlier, here is what the summary report looks like. That will be sent by default every day by email unless you change it. So this will show things such as the top bandwidth and session usage that you can see right here in these tables. And there you will see our .36 host right here being a top talker. And of course, you'll see other summary details that will be listed based on what security features you have enabled, such as application or web filtering. So this report is attached to this email as a PDF that you can view to get more details. But again, this summary report is very simple and it keeps you informed about how your firewall is performing. It's really, really good. There are also some basic management capabilities that you can extend up to the FortiCloud, but I don't find those functions very useful at this time. So for example, when we go back to our FortiCloud portal page, okay, so for our device, it will say no management tunnel. This means that our firewall isn't enabled for that yet. So let's go back to our firewall. To enable this, let's go to the admin settings page. Okay, and here under central management, we'll go ahead and enable FortiCloud and save our changes. Now keep in mind that doing this change won't change anything on the dashboard page. So once again, here under FortiCloud, we will still see the same details. However, when we go back to the FortiCloud portal page, you will see that the message of no management tunnel is no longer there. But we see a few things that are different. We see an option here for launching the setup wizard, which we do not need to do because our firewall is already configured. And we see the actual name of our firewall device, which is really good. Okay, let's go ahead and go into our firewall to view the different reports that we can view. And there you will see a new option on the menu called Management. Let's go to that tab now to see what options are listed there. So here we can enable, again, we can access the setup wizard if needed, but that's not really recommended. You want to do all that locally and not do it through the cloud itself. But you can, it is an option for changing the interfaces and other basic configuration. We can also send backup configurations to FortiCloud if needed, and we can even perform firmware upgrades if needed on our firewall. Now, in order to send backups to FortiCloud, let's go back to our firewall. And here under the console, okay, we need to access the central management subsystem. So let's go ahead and go there now. So here we'll type in config system central management. Okay. And there, let's view the current configuration under that system. Okay, and there you will see that there's nothing set up for backups. You will see something called set type FortiGuard. So let's enable that now by typing in the command, which is set mode backup. Okay, so let's view the configuration once more. And now our firewall is set up for us to send backups to FortiCloud. Now, in order to send backups to FortiCloud, you would type in the following command right from the CLI, and that would be execute backup config management station. Okay, followed by some simple note or description. Okay, now on FortiCloud, it will only display the timestamp when a backup was received, so keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and do like March config. Something simple. And once we're done, we'll do enter. Okay, and that backup has completed. Let's now go back into the FortiCloud management page. Okay, and there we do see our backup listed here. And we have a couple of options. We have an option where we can download the file. We can compare it against another backup file that we have stored here. And of course, we can delete it if necessary. So again, not a lot of options that could be very useful, but over time, I see the potential of this becoming very, very robust. Again, FortiCloud is really utilized for the reporting capabilities, which is very, very useful. Okay, and that will conclude this video for learning how to set up or enable FortiCloud and how it can be used for your environment.